Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Game Changers podcast. I'm actually back with Mr. Bropo for this week. Say
Hello,
hi.
guys. Mr. Bropo, straight out of Mr. Bropo's toy chest.
I thought you were about to say straight out of Compton for some reason.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, straight out of Compton. But yeah, today we're gonna actually be talking about like me and Mr. Bropo's, I guess, favorite thing. Not really. I mean, it's great. Game consoles.
Yeah. I personally own some. I hope you guys do too.
I own like I think I own like 3. I think yeah. I
I
own the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii.
I own
Basically the 6th generation consoles.
I own the GameCube, the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, and a 3DS.
Okay, yeah, I have a 3DS too, also, which means I have a 7th generation console. Also, I'm planning on getting a
Yeah.
PlayStation 4. So yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about like what is a game console? Well, it's a thing
This
you can
should
play
be
video
pretty
games on.
self-explanatory, but
Yeah.
in this, the stuff that we do, we gotta
Yeah.
break it down,
Yeah.
and that's what we're here to do. Now, could you give us a brief explanation of what a video game console is, my friend?
I can, Mr. Bropo.
Jeez.
Anyway, a game console is actually like a platform that you can actually play your favorite video games off of, except for PC, where you can play it on the comfort of your couch or even like the comfort of your bed. Like it's called a video game console for a reason. Like if you play on a
With the
PC,
advancements of handheld consoles, you can play on the go, too.
correct, and has the advancements of a PC also.
You
Because
get
like
games, from Valve and stuff. Oh.
yeah, because like console gaming become especially popular in like
Yeah, consoles.
about like the
PCs become kind of consoles, too.
80.
Half-Life 3!
Whoa there, sir. What's that about?
I don't know, some weirdo just came up and said Half-Life 3.
Is that your brother or something?
No.
Anyway, so consoles start off and like let's check this out a little for a second here. I think video game consoles started in like 1970 something.
So yeah, you can see we're definitely informed about our stuff.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. Like we're totally like informed about all the stuff and everything. Yeah, the first ever game console released was by Magnavox, which was released a Magnavox Odyssey, which was released in 1972. Yeah, very right.
So wow, back in '72, jeez.
Yeah, then like the
Wow.
second generation of consoles actually started off with like the Atari 2600. There are some handhelds also, which actually is the Nintendo's Game and Watch. We're so nostalgic. And yeah, rebirth console stuff.
There were a lot of different trial and
Consoles.
error consoles back in the day, but most of the ones started getting a little bit more advanced throughout
Yeah.
time, and there was one exactly that mainly revolutionized. I mean, the Atari was, at the time great, but then they kind of flopped with a certain game I don't feel like mentioning that we should leave for its own episode. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
it's E.T. the extraterrestrial.
There
But
we go. Yeah. So
what
anyway,
rebounded off that
yeah.
was obviously
Yeah, because
uh,
like there's like a section in this like article I'm reading, the video game crash of 1983 with E.T.
that was awful.
Yeah. Fourth generation, the Famicom. Uh, the Famicom was amazing.
Mm.
Like wasn't amazing. The
Yeah,
SNES, the SNES.
the SNES. That had a lot of classic games. I mean,
I
from
know.
Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, right?
What about Contra?
Super Contra, yeah. Super Metroid. You had Donkey Kong Country Trilogy on there. You
Yeah.
had Super Mario World,
Yeah.
F-Zero, Earthbound. I mean, I keep going, but I don't want
Yeah, like the
to.
fifth generation had like really good like consoles like the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation.
Hmm.
Wait, was it the? Yeah, this was the fifth area. Yeah, this is the fifth generation. And also Yeah, the Game Boy, if we forgot to mention. That was revolutionary.
I'm happy nothing too major in gaming has happened like the game crash. Though there was a downfall of a certain company who even rivaled the likes of Nintendo at one point.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sega. Sega had produced a lot of different consoles. They spawned off the insanely popular Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. They did quite a bit, but eventually in 1999, when they released the Dreamcast, it was doing well, but then the PlayStation 2 came along, and it would just died off as the GameCube was released and started.
Speaking of Dreamcast, the sixth generation of consoles actually has the Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. Now the PlayStation 2 was remarkable because like the sales on the PlayStation 2, 155 million
Oh, wow.
units sold. And the Dreamcast, you said, was doing well. It only
Uh,
sold
it was
about like 9 million
it was doing
units.
okay for the time, but then it just.
It just
It,
like we just like got screwed over by the PlayStation.
mm,
Cause like the PlayStation was just remarkable in its own sense, especially the second one. Cause like
yeah.
okay, I actually own all seventh generation consoles. I meant, I mean not yeah like cause like I own the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and the Wii. And the Wii that was remarkable for Nintendo,
True.
cause it sold like 100 million units. Plus it was motion controlled, which is kind of new. I actually have it in my room right now where I'm like recording this. Like I
Yeah.
actually have it in my eyes right now. Yeah, handheld consoles are actually a big thing, like the Nintendo
Yeah,
DS.
of course, from the Game and Watch, then that spawned off the highly successful Game Boy and the Game Boy Color and Advance, and then the Nintendo DS was released. And
And CS, DSi, and everything like that, and like the
then the
3DS.
3DS was released, and that was pretty big too. So
And also, like, let's talk about PlayStation for a second. What about the PlayStation, the PSP or the PlayStation Portable?
that's true.
And then, like, it got remade and made better with the PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
So
better.
even they've had their little fair share of
Flaws.
portable game systems. So even back in the way back in the day, rivaling the Game Boy was the Game Gear made by Sega. So that's pretty interesting. Although that only spawned off one major, kind of sequel, I guess, and one major upgrade, and that was the Nomad, which didn't do as well as the Game Gear. But with all due respect, I guess it did.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, the eighth generation, where I think we're gonna be out of now, cause like I guess we can count out of it. We're still in the eighth generation. We're like the Wii U, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One were released. Now, first of all, the Wii U did not have a great start for selling. Okay,
Yeah, it still isn't doing the best.
because like okay, PlayStation 4 I think is doing the best out of all of them right now. Because the PlayStation 4 had like a cheaper startup price and was overall a better console in my opinion.
Mm.
I've actually got to play on it once and it was really fun. So
Oh.
it was actually really like the PlayStation 3 a lot with like the DualShock 4 controller.
Oh yeah, that's nice. And then even for late night gaming, you have the audio jack inside of it
Correct.
for different purposes. Gameplay wise, you have the touchpad. It's
Yeah.
a very nice controller.
And for
Really.
handhelds, there was the PlayStation Vita and Nintendo 3DS for that time.
Mm.
And we can get into cartridges any day right now, but like
Eh.
that's like and like discs and everything. Oh my gosh, that'll take forever. But we can talk about the history of TV now. Like seriously, did you know TV started out in like the 1800s?
Oh wow.
Like that's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, what we're trying to say here is that the video game console is like one of the best inventions for gamers and like people who are enthusiasts of gamers, because like
Uh,
it takes
yeah, I
comfort
mean,
to like a whole big level, and plus like it's a very like strong device where like you can enjoy gaming with like no lag basically, and it well if you have a really good router.
yeah, it's definitely a huge evolution, especially now to television and TV shows and movies, considering that now with how cinematic things have gotten, like games like different all the
Like
games out now,
Metal Gear
Metal Gear
Solid.
Solid, Half-Life to The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War, the list goes on and on.
Yes.
And it just gets more cinematic, and you feel like you're playing this huge grand adventure. You're in it. It's not just watching.
You're actually in
Big
the
cinematic.
adventure, like.
And now game consoles have gotten so advanced that you can watch things. You can stream, for example, Netflix and your Hulu and whatnots
YouTube
on
also.
game consoles. So they work as an entertainment system sometimes as well.
Correct, because, like, game
And
consoles are
before that,
basically
there
like a
were DVD
multimedia.
players too. Like for the PlayStation 2, that had a DVD player. Am I correct?
Really?
The PlayStation 2?
I'm gonna look actually, because I know the PlayStation 3 had a Blu-ray.
I'm pretty sure because the PlayStation 1 had a CD player, then the PlayStation 2 I think had a DVD, then the
Let's read
PlayStation
here.
3 had a Blu-ray.
Page
Even the
2.
discs, if you notice, the
Yeah, the game
PlayStation
console was
1,
able to play DVDs.
hold it. If you think about it, think about, for example, think about the PlayStation 1 games. They came in like CD boxes. They came in CD packages.
Correct.
Then the PlayStation 2 games came in boxes or packages that were resemblant to DVDs, and then the PlayStation 3 was more resemblant to um, uh, Blu-ray discs. So,
Yeah, because like a Blu-ray is actually like a more advanced than DVD.
yeah.
I prefer Blu-ray because like I'm a nerd and everything.
Mm,
I literally have like the Martian on Blu-ray and Star Wars 6 movies on
oh,
Blu-ray. The Martian's a
nice.
great film.
Mm.
I'm glad I got it on Blu-ray. It's a great film.
Moving on. My gosh, man. Stop being a dingus.
Okay, I'll stop being a dingus. Like, my gosh, we're just talking about games for one freaking moment. My gosh, like, dang.
Don't be so sensitive, you big goobery Martian.
I'm not a Martian.
You love the Martian, though.
I do like the Martian, but like,
Okay,
okay,
off topic.
we're getting off topic. Yeah, like so yeah, what we're saying is that game consoles like a big like step into the right like big. You explain this for me. I got a tongue twister. Is it's a good step in the right direction. I meant for like gaming and like multimedia and altogether.
Yeah.
Cause without like game consoles, we wouldn't be able to enjoy things as easily as we can nowadays.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be a wrap for this podcast today. That was actually a very cinematic ending. I felt like the game theorist for that. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, and today we are going to be talking about the physics of Sonic the Hedgehog running. Yay! But yeah, speaking of the star of The Martian, Matt Damon is actually producing a show on Go 90 that's being hosted by MatPat.
Nice.
Isn't that freaking cool? Anyway, thank you guys for watching this podcast, and tune in next week for us to talk about random crap that we haven't thought of anyway. Anyway, see ya.
Nice.
Buttholes. Waiting for your response, sir.
Hi.